welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have got this beautiful die set here. It's called the Amazing Aperture Box die set from Tonic, and there are 15 different dies in it, and obviously it makes a little box with an aperture. How did you guess? So I'm going to have a quick look through the dies, and we can see already that this one says birthday wishes, and this one says hope this makes you smile, and then there are beautiful little ones with floral elements in them here, and you can use these ones. They don't have any outside cutting edge, but there's a lovely little rectangle here. So if you don't use the cutting edge with them, you can create a beautiful die cut element inside the card, and if you use the outside edge with them, you can create a panel that then you can lift off and glue on top of a card. And I'm looking already and I see some really beautiful things here, but this one here strikes me right away that although it's not Christmassy in any shape or form, but that would make a beautiful poinsettia, and that would be lovely in red and gold. And then there's these gorgeous circular elements as well, and we've got a circle here that looks like it would cut the whole rest of that one out, because this cutting edge just comes to here, and then you could cut this one out to put in behind it as well. And this one then looks like it would make up a lovely roll-up flower, but I'll certainly be back with those in just a minute or two. But I have lots and lots of videos coming. I've quite a few still in the pipeline to release when the products are released. So if you would like to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, you'll get a little notification when they come up. And I think you're going to really enjoy some of the lovely stuff that Tonic have coming, so hopefully you'll not want to miss those. If you do subscribe and hit the notification bell, feel free to share the videos and share them far and wide, whatever you like. I'm always happy with that as well. And if you enjoy them, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. That's always a little bit of encouragement. And leave me a little comment, because I love to keep in touch and I do like to get back and chat to you. So thank you very, very much for that. But I'm going off now to do some die cutting, and I'll be right back when I work out what colours I'm going to use. You'll get instructions with yours, and at the top of the page it will tell you how many different pieces of each of these dies you'll need to cut out. So you will need 4 of this one with this little foldy bit and pointy edge on it, and I've cut 4 out here, and I've used 300 GSM ivory smooth card for that. I've cut out 4 of these ones, that's those, and I have cut out 4 of these, and I see this gives a lovely little indentation of a circle on that as well. So this is not a cutting line at all, this is just a flat sort of debossing area, and that will guide me as to how I use these die cuts that are coming from that one. Now it also says to cut 4 little feet, but I'm going to wait until the end and then I'll cut whatever feet I sort of fancy to go along with this. If you look closely here, you'll see little notches, and then you'll also see notches on these. So what I'm going to do first of all is leave 1 with no cutting on it, and then on the next 3 I'm going to cut these with the little notches and align those up. So I'll take the first notch there, which has 1 little, actually just zoom you in a little bit so you can see closer. There's 1, 2 and 3 little notches here, and on the first one that I'm cutting this into, I'm going to align the 1 up. So I'm going to make sure that that makes a little circle there between the little notch in this die and the little notch in the outside one. Don't worry about these other ones at the moment. We're going to line this one up, tape that in place, and then run that through the die cutting machine. Then I'm going to come back and go on to my second one and align the second and third notches up. But at the minute, we're just going to be concerned about this one. So there's the plain die cut with 1 notch lined up, with 2 notches lined up, and now I'm going to do 3. So again, just pop this on top like that, and there's the 3 notches there, and the 3 notches here, and I'm just going to tape that down and run that through. On the one then that I have left plain so far, I'm going to take the plain circle. I don't have anything to line up in that one at all, and I can just go ahead and pop that inside, make sure it's all sort of evenly spaced around here, and die cut that through my machine. Now I'm coming back to the side panels, and I'm just going to burnish these little score lines here. So these are glue tabs, and along here and here. But on this part here, I really only want to mold those around. I don't want to actually fold them very tightly, so I have just gone along them with my finger and thumb like that, and brought them together to give a little mold to it. And you can see there, just do it very, very carefully. And I'm not actually putting a full score line in that, but what I'm doing is actually just creating a little score and a little fold. And then I can go ahead and glue all these panels together, and those areas there then will be just little rounded corners like that. Now I've taken that large circle again, and I have die cut it out of two of these little panels that I showed you earlier. They've got a circle debossed into them, but this one's a bit smaller, and you'll just cut two of those out. You'll see when you look at this now that these ends are flat and just straight across here. That will be the base, and this one with the rounded piece is the curved part, so this will sort of correspond to that. So now what you need to do is just pop this in below here and glue these tabs over the top of that. You can do that. Sometimes I find that just easier to put some glue down in there and drop this down in. You can fold this one back when you've got the glue down in there, and that means that you've got it all holding it square. I'll show you just what I mean first of all. You pop that down, and that will fit in there, and that holds this all square, and you can make sure your corners are all in the right place first. So I'm going to pop some glue in there, and we'll go for that, and then turn it over and add the other piece on top of that. And then you can take your second aperture die and just place that directly over the top, and that will cover all of these little glue tabs. So it should look nice and neat like that. And then this goes over just to tidy the whole thing up at the end. I've turned this over and I want to glue this on the inside. I'm actually just going to show you here. I have been sort of die cutting manically for a little while, and I've been using two machines, and normally I only ever use my tangerine. Well, look, this one has been cut with a Big Shot, and it doesn't even show you the outside edges there. The pressure isn't anywhere near as good as the tangerine. I can tell right away at a glance which ones have been cut with which. Anyhow, I am going to glue these panels onto here so that that's on the inside. The glue tabs then are on the outside, and I am just going to pop that inside there and put glue around the outside, and then turn it over and press that down like that, and that will be in the right place. Then I can sort of put a bit of pressure on it with my hand there. Notice I haven't already decorated any of this, so I could go ahead and do that now and add panels on here, and then I am going to add these pieces on here. But the way this works is that these get glued by the glue tabs here. That's these long pieces, and you'll just follow that little pattern around so you know that they're going to overlap like this, and this piece sort of all comes into the middle. Let's see. There you are. So they're going to go in that configuration and look like that at the end. Obviously only neater, of course, but that's how it's going to look. And I think that I would, rather than leave that open, it is absolutely beautiful open like that, but I think I would like to put some vellum in behind that. And the die that holds, that sort of cuts the circle out, cuts a circle which just fits obviously inside there, and you'd have nothing to grab onto on the outside here. So obviously it wasn't really intended to do this, but I wanted to add this vellum circle on. So I've just gone through my old layering circle dies. This is a really, really old one from Tonic from years and years ago, and I picked one out that is just slightly bigger than that circle, so it's sort of in between those two sizes. And I'm going to put some vellum on there and just put a little dot on there, very, very little, because I don't want that visible when I open it, but I'm going to do that on all of these. I've picked out some of the Dusky Rose paper, so that's just the new paper pad, and it's really, really lovely. And I've used this little rectangle die to cut 4 panels of that out, and you can see I've got 3 already on there, and I'm going to glue this one on here. I've got these floral panels on the whole way around, and I actually was going to put self-coloured cream ones on here, but I just like that look in there, so I've cut 4 more of these panels. So that again is with the plain rectangular die. And then you can see here that I've taped 2 of the dies together, so that's the one that says Birthday Wishes and the rectangle one. And I've cut this out, and that's really, really beautiful font, and that lovely little rose just ties in with the paper and everything. So I'm going to glue that on there, and that then will get glued onto one of these side panels, and I'll glue the other 3 onto the other 3 panels. I can go ahead and attach these by these little glue tabs. So I just want to put glue along the inside of those, and then once I've got one on, then I can just work out where the others go. So that will go right on there. I wanted to make that birthday wishes part just pop a little bit more, so I took these 2 dies again and I cut them out with the lovely card from this little pack here. So it's that beautiful light coloured one from the Principal Pearlescence, and I have just offset that, so I've cut it out and glued it on just slightly to the right and slightly down from the ivory one that's in below. And you can see there that I've actually gone ahead and I've got 3 little feet on there. So I'm just going to go ahead now and show you how to make the 4th one, and we'll put that on. I've used this little die, and I wanted to bring that sort of that pearlescent effect through into the feet as well, just to bring this all together. So I've cut it out in that card, but I've also cut it out in the ivory 300 GSM card as well. And I'm just going to shape this around my finger like this, just slightly, and fold over all those little glue tabs. Now first of all, I want to be sure that I've got a very straight line across there, so I'm just going to burnish that, and then I can go ahead and glue this right around here. So if you see where these little lines are, and match this, the little lines in the little foot up in the same place, that's how you know you've got it right. But make sure you've glue right out to the edge, and that will strengthen that. But I'm going to strengthen it with another little die cut as well. So just hold that on there, lining up the little lines on this one. It's harder to hold it this way, but I'll show you. There we are, just like that. Just to be sure that this one isn't showing from the outside, I'm going to cut it right inside that line. You see where the little fold line goes across there where the glue tabs are? I'm going to cut it just on the inside of that, and take just a little sliver off there and there, following the curve around. And then I can put some glue on that. And just pop that right in there. Whenever the glue's dry on that, I can take my last one of these shapes and I can glue that right on there, and that will cover all of the glue tabs there and tidy the whole base of that up. I thought that would look really, really nice whenever I open it all up, if you could see some colour on the inside as well. So I have added some of the same color, the same paper that's on here. It's on here and here, and the whole thing then matches in. But just be careful and don't add too many layers on. Don't be adding card or anything on there, because that's just enough. If it's too thick, then all of these will be out of line, and then they'll not sort of fold over properly at the end. But I actually can cut all these off and just use the one that you're going to fold over at the end and have that coming in there. So I could nip all the rest of those off if necessary. But do be aware of the fact that you don't want too much bulk in there at this stage, because that will just make it too thick at the top and it won't line up again. So that's all of that, and now I've got a little flower and a little leaf section that I was going to add on here, and I'll show you. There it is. Show you how I made that. So I've taken the large die that looks like a spiral, this one, and I have die cut that in the patterned paper, and then I have used the little leaf one which matches that, and I've used it in the pearlized card. That's it there. So I'm just going to show you how I got the debossing as strong as that in there. So while this is, when you've cut that out, just leave it in the die and take a little stylus, one of your small ended styluses, and just go in there and you'll feel that around. The other way of doing that is actually just to use an embossing mat, but I think you get a sort of a bolder, I'll show you there the difference between the two. So this one has just been gone through the die cutting machine, and this one then I have raised that up. So whichever way you like, you can use an embossing mat, but I actually think that that gives a bolder impression there, and it's rather nice. And this has got a flat area on the bottom of it as well, where you can go ahead and just glue the leaf, the flower right onto the leaf and the flower together like that. Anyhow, there we are. There's the flower, and I'm just going to take my little tool here for doing that. That's a quilling tool. Pop the section right in there and follow that around. Try your best just to keep the end level as you go around, and bring it towards yourself like that. Now if it's not perfectly level, don't worry too much about it, but you'll be able to fix that at the end. But just right now, it's easier if you manage to keep it fairly close as you go. And just keep going around until you get to the end where that little circular bit is, and then you can pull the tool out of it like that, And then at this stage you can decide how much you want to let that spring back out again before you glue it to this base. And you can see there that's quite tight, and if you let it go a bit more you'll get a bigger flower. So I'm going to hold it there, pop some glue, just hold it with my finger there. Now hot glue would be really good and quick for this. It means you just pop a drop on, pop it up, and then that's it, over and out, and the job's done. But I don't mind just using this one, and you can see where you've gone with it. Just hold it for a second. Ooh! Oh dear. Yep, and that happens. So just hold that for a minute or two like that, and then you can go ahead and glue it right onto the leaves there, because this little circle here corresponds with that. And there it is. I've got the little flowers glued on, one on the corner here and one up here, and then I just glued this one directly on. Actually, it's not glued on properly yet, so I'll show you, just into the center of that flower. That way, whenever you're folding these layers back and forwards over at the top, you'll know which one is the top one, because that's going to indicate that. And that's it all finished. Isn't that rather pretty? It's a really cute little box. I thought I would make another one with a sort of a lighter weight wrap around it this time, and I have taken the same ivory card and made the ivory inner box, as you can see here. Still left those tabs on because I kind of like them, but anyway, we'll see. So I have then added some of this green paper from the Dusky Rose paper pad onto the sides, and this time I'm not adding anything extra on anywhere. I'm just leaving it like that, and I'm not die cutting there. And I can fold all of these up like that, and then you'll see here that I've got this piece added onto the top this time. So I'm folding this over this way, and the last time I tucked the tabs in at the front to finish that off. So all I have done is take the little die that had the circle and this piece out of it. I die cut this, and then I die cut the complete circle, and that gave me this piece just on its own, and I did that twice, and that gave me these two pieces, which I then just glued directly onto a plain circle and glued it onto the top tab. And again then I have made a little flower with some vellum leaves in behind, and I die cut this part here which says "Hope this brings a smile," and I was going to put that straight onto the patterned paper, but it sort of lost the wording because the paper was so patterned. So I put a little piece of vellum in behind, and that just gave a good distinction between the two of them, and you can see it so much better. And that's why then that I've added the little bit of vellum up here in the leaves, because that sort of brings that all together. You may have noticed earlier I had this piece sort of sitting on the desk while I was working. I had to stop and just go on to that and then come back, because the idea was in my mind and I really just wanted to get it made while it was still there. That's the kind of head I have sometimes. You just have to go with it while it's all in there. I do have a list and a pen and all the rest of it, but sometimes it's just better getting it made. So I've cut a little card here, and this is let's just check. I think I cut it to 15. Yeah, so it's 15 centimeters across, and I folded that in two, and then it's 8.5 high. And I've taken the little plain panel and I've cut that out in some green card. Then I have die cut the pattern with the flower in the center of it, just the rectangular one. So that's this panel, and I have die cut that in gold glitter card, taken all the pieces out, and it looked really, really beautiful. So I've got some of this beautiful iridescent red card, and obviously each time you cut this to paper piece, you're going to have another piece that you could make something else with as well. This could be a little gift tag, or even just a very tiny Christmas card. But obviously then I'm going to use this for something too. But what I really wanted to do was make a poinsettia out of this, and I thought a little dimensional one would be nice. So I've taken the little petals that are around the outside there. I've got my foam mat and a little embossing stylus, and really all I'm doing is pressing in the center there, and then I'm going to add some glue, and let's see, grab that, and I want to put it in between those other petals so that it stands up more, and I'm going to continue that the whole way around with the little petals that I have in the center here. So I'll just flip that over and pop those ones out. That's not that one, but I do need that one. And then I'll just continue to glue that around. That's it all glued on, and doesn't that look really, really lovely with that extra bit of dimension? It actually looked really pretty when it was just flat, but I think adding those extra petals on just gave that a lovely little lift in every sense. I wanted to make another card with this, so I've taken some of the pink paper from the pad this time and some beautiful gold iridescent card. I think that's Inca gold. And then I've cut out this birthday wishes again. Now I really wanted that little rose to stand out, so I put that on some of the card. You'll remember the card that I used for this. And I really just set it down. I'll show you what I did here. Set it down here, and then I drew around the outside of it onto the piece of card, and then cut it out, and actually cut just inside the line so that I was getting a piece that was slightly smaller, and I'm going to glue that in behind there, and it just makes that little rose stand out a bit more. And then I've taken a piece of vellum, because obviously when that goes straight onto the card it kind of gets a bit lost, so I'm putting the rose on first and then some vellum, and then that goes on there, and you've got a lovely, very simple and very quick little card. I thought this would make a nice little sleeve or a pocket kind of thing for putting a present in, and even something sort of a bit more dimensional that you want inside a memory book or something like that, a little sleeve to tuck something inside. So I've cut that out twice, and then I have just cut that right across there and cut those glue tabs off top and bottom, and now I'm just going to glue these two pieces together by the remaining glue tabs. But you can see here I've left these ones intact. I've folded the first one down and the last one down, and then that gives me a side on this and makes it like a little slider sort of element, and you can see there. So obviously you can decide how thick you want that by which one of these tabs you sort of end up folding that at and gluing it onto. I'm thinking this would be a nice little sleeve that you could decorate for Christmas or whatever and put over a bar of chocolate. Of course that's what was in my mind, but you might have other ideas for it. But there's the sleeve anyway, and you can make that a little decorative element to put your chocolate in and decorate the front of it. So I'm going to go ahead now with the lovely piece that I had already here and glue that onto the front once I take my other little pieces out. And I find it very hard not to hold on to those two paper pieces. I'm not going to do it this time. I don't know who the culprit was, but look, there is a bar of chocolate, and I'm just covering the name because, anyway, you know what it is. But I'm popping it in there. There's some missing. It was a new bar, but somebody has been enjoying it anyway. But that's the idea that I had in mind, a lovely Christmas decorative sleeve for something else, and obviously you would match it to whatever you're putting inside it. Even a lovely scarf or something, that would be really lovely with that on it. Well, that is me all finished this time. There are the boxes. 1 and 2, and my little card and my little sleeve. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up if you have enjoyed it, and leave me a little comment down below and tell me what you liked about it. Tell me if you enjoyed this set. It would be a really lovely gift box. I think it's quite easy to adapt to anything that you want to put on it. Christmas paper would be beautiful on it, but anyway, this is what I've done. I like it with that paper on, and I hope you like it too. The vellum, you know, I kind of like that vintagey feel with the vellum on it, but I've brought some extra colours in here as well, and I love that dimension there too. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be kept up to date with everything else as it comes along But this is the showcase, number 44, the Amazing Aperture Box. There's a playlist with other showcases and different things on it down there if you want to have a little look. My affiliate links to everything that I've used will be down below in the description as well, so thanks to everybody who uses those already. I do really appreciate that. I get some commission on that, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So thank you very, very much in the meantime. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.